Before we get into this one, if you could hit that sub button down below, it would mean a massive amount to me because we're trying to hit that big 1K this year, but let's get straight into this video. Leeds United are reported to have made a bid in the region of £15 million for 21-year-old American attacking midfielder from RB Salzburg, Brenden Aaronson. In today's video, we're going to have a bit of a look at who he is, what he's about, and whether he would fit into Leeds United's system. Spoiler alert, he will, because he's been on Victor Orta's list for a few years now, and Bielsa has come round to the idea of this player. And having tabled a bid, it's obvious that they've done their research. So let's get into his statistics and his more detailed information. We're going to start with the most basic stats of all. What are his goals and assists like over the past few seasons? Well, in 2020, playing in the MLS, just aged 19, he scored 4 and assisted 4 in 23 games in a title-winning season for Philadelphia. This is what then earned him his move to RB Salzburg in the Austrian Bundesliga. In the Austrian Bundesliga in the 2020-2021 season, age 19 still, he won the league again with 20 games played, 5 goals, 5 assists. And then this season so far, he has, age 20, played 16 matches, 1 goal and 4 assists, and he is currently first in the league again with RB Salzburg. Now this shows that Brenden Aaronson has healthy goal contributions throughout the season, and when we delve a bit deeper into that, we come to shot creating actions. Now, shot creating actions are defined by the numbers game on YouTube as 2 offensive actions directly leading to a shot, such as passes, dribbles and fouls drawn. The first goal for Leeds against West Ham. So Click had the shot that then came off the keeper, bounced to Forshaw and then went to Harrison to score the goal. The people who got the shot creating action for that were Click, because he had the initial shot that then led to Forshaw getting the second shot creating action, which was actually the assist, and then the actual goal goes to Jack Harrison. So the shot creating action is the 2 things leading up to that, and that could even be being fouled for a free kick that goes directly in, those sorts of things. So it's a way of measuring the pre-assist basically. So it gives us a sort of gauge of how involved players are in creating chances. So shot creating actions, this is from the time in the MLS and a little bit from the Europa and Champions League, because the Austrian Bundesliga isn't as detailed with the statistics as those leagues are, easy for me to say. Aaronson averaged 2.53 in 2019 and 2.65 in 2020 of shot creating actions per 90. There isn't, like I said, any details for the Austrian Bundesliga, but with a similar shot creating action in the Europa League and the Champions League of around 2.2 and 2.5 respectively. For a Premier League player in the bottom of the half of the table, 2.5 shot creating actions per 90 is very good. Now, when you look at somebody who is deemed as a very creative attacking midfielder, somebody like Christian Eriksen comes up with, last season in the Serie A, he came up with 3 shot creating actions per 90, which is a very healthy sort of score, and that is for the team that won the Italian league, and he is obviously an excellent attacking midfielder. So 2.5 is nothing to be ashamed of at all, and in fact, like I say, it's very good for a lower table team in the Premier League. This is the sort of statistics that's very important when we sign an attacking midfielder, because we need to create more chances. Last season we had an abundance of chances and we were creating them week in, week out. It has been one of our biggest flaws this season that we haven't created enough chances, and then even when we haven't had anyone to finish them off, because the likes of Dan James, Jack Harrison have been a little bit not very clinical, shall we say, to put it kindly, this season. Obviously, Jack Harrison got that hat-trick at the weekend, but the point stands about the rest of the season. They've not been on top form in terms of finishing. The other major thing that we need to look at when it comes to this attacking midfield role is pressures. Now, pressures are a very big part of Leeds' game because we play with a high press, and you can see the way that Dan James runs around like a headless chicken chasing those defenders across the back line. That's a very important thing that Bielsa wants his players to be able to do. Pressures per 90 in the MLS, like I said, limited data from the Austrian Bundesliga, but this is only 2 years ago now. 31 pressures per 90 in 2019 and 26.5 pressures in 2020. Now that seems like you're getting a bit of a drop off, but in the Europa League and Champions League, he's around 30 pressures per game, which is high because I've looked at other players on fbref.com. If you want to check that out for more detailed statistics on players around the world, you can do. But I've checked on there and he is quite high for his pressures per 90, which is obviously a massive thing for Leeds because it means he works hard and he is capable of adapting to this system. And I think the Red Bull teams in general like to play attacking football and they like to play on the front foot and press high up, which is obviously a very good thing to have when transitioning to somebody like Leeds United. Now, Scouted Football are a website that I have used and have also been doing collaborations with James Alcott recently to basically bring to light these young players that are going to sort of light the world up in the next few years. So check that series out on James's channel because I found it really, really interesting, and it obviously brought to my attention Scouted Football, and Scouted Football had this to say about Brenden Aaronson. He's no Adama, obviously Adama Traore, by any stretch of the imagination, but he has the ability to create a metre of space for himself in the middle of the pitch, and he's adept at winning free kicks in dangerous positions via an opponent swinging a leg at the ball he has long since taken away. Now this statement by Scouted Football is a clear indication that he has a speed of thought, a footballing brain, not just the speed of body, for him to be able to get into these positions, turn a man, beat a man, get past someone, get fouled. He also has to have a speed of thought to be able to achieve this, which is obviously a very good thing if he's got a bit of a footballing brain, and that obviously then contributes towards his shot creating actions per 90, which we were talking about before. So the kind of player that Brenden Aaronson is, like we said at the start, Victor Orta has had him on the list for a few years now, and it's clear to see why. With him being only 21 years old, American as well is the thing that I was going to mention, because when Pulisic went to Dortmund, loads of American fans bought Pulisic shirts. When he went to Chelsea, loads of American fans bought Pulisic shirts. It shows the sort of state of modern football in that people will support a player rather than a club. If we were to sign an American player and he was to do really well for Leeds, this could mean a massive amount for shirt sales across America. You could see loads of people walking around America in Aaronson Leeds United shirts, obviously good for our sales revenue and the brand of the club. So that's also another positive that you don't really think about sometimes, but marketability, if he comes good, if we sign him, then yeah, that's fantastic. We can make loads of money off shirt sales. But yeah, like I say, clear to see why he's on Orta's list, clear to see why he would fit the system, and I think he'd be a great signing. £15 million, not the end of the world. 21-year-old, is that a bit much for a 21-year-old? I think at this stage, we just need to cough up, pay the money, and get this guy in and just see what he can do in the Premier League. We've got players in, Forshaw, Rodrigo, Phillips, Dallas, we've got Click, we've got a good midfield, and we've got Bate coming through in backup. But this guy could be someone who is very good at bringing up the rear, coming in off the bench, filling in those gaps, and potentially playing ahead of Rodrigo when Rodrigo's injured or suspended or just not playing very well, because that's the cold hard fact of it sometimes. Sometimes he's not great, sometimes you want another option, so you bring Aaronson on and he's a little bit of spark and a little bit of light in that team. So I think that could be a really good signing for Leeds United. I think Brenden Aaronson for £15 million is a deal that we definitely should do, and probably by the time you're watching this, the deal might already be done. So if it is, let me know down in the comments what you think of the signing and whether this video has helped you out to understand a little bit more about the sort of player he is and about some more statistics that you can find out from this channel. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you after the Newcastle game.